and so forth. So downtown looks great. Still needs some work, but it looks a hell of a lot better than it did 20, 30 years ago. That's for sure. Now, I don't know about you, but one of the most congested intersections, busiest intersections, I should say, in town, is right off the Arsenal Street Bridge. Not on Big Apple's side, but on the side towards Public Square. Now, listen, I just want to go out on a limb and say I've been in that intersection more so than any human being alive. That's all I can tell you. I've been up here now, like I said, 36 years. I've been doing a lot of traveling. There might be some old guys that have been riding an Uber or a cab for longer who could say they've been up there, but I doubt it. I really do. When I see the development potential of that intersection, now, first of all, you use a bad name, like it's called eminent domain. You don't want to use that name because all of a sudden people are unraveled or they're derailed. You're taking them out of their home. If you notice the intersection right there, is that Crescent Street? I can't remember what street it is, but it's got the big white house, and they've been putting in new street lamps there for the last God knows how many months. They're still not done with that, and putting in new sidewalks too. I look at that area as Watertown's potential. I really do. It is right now. It's just you got houses on top of houses. Most of them aren't occupied. Lower Stone Street, for instance, towards the railroad tracks, 4 out of 5 houses there seem to be empty, even the ones that they renovated. But my point is, back to the original point, that intersection needs city development. I don't know if anyone's ever brought it up before, but it truly needs it. It's also part of where, what was that, Crazy Legs, old Luigi's restaurant. That place, I don't even know if anyone's living in the second floor. I saw a light upstairs the other day. But it's been for sale. I know the owner. He's a good guy. There's no possible way anyone's going to fix that building. It really needs to be raised eventually. And there's scores of others on that side. But could you imagine what Lower Arsenal Street would look like if they leveled all that out and just threw eminent domain, bought everyone out at fair market value and said, you know what, we got to fix this. The old red brick building there. I know there's a management company there. It's an old building, but I just think, for the right price, people would say, hey, you know what? You want to buy me out for $150,000 in cash? Go for it. Take it. And I think there would be so much benefits and advantages to Watertown. It's just a thought. I've been thinking about this for so long. And finally today I realized, when am I ever going to discuss this? Because, by the way, if you travel from the west side of Watertown and you want to get to Arsenal Street, you could do one of two things. You can make a left on Stone Street, where the fire station is, and then work your way down from Stone Street to the street that I was just referring to, and then make a left at that busy intersection. You know what I'm talking about. Or you can go to Arsenal Street and Massey Street and make the left there, which happens to be one of the longest lights in town. So people avoid that altogether. So the traffic there, and we have someone who lives on that block, he can attest to the amount of traffic there. So there should be some type of investment in Lower Stone Street because of the amount of traffic that goes through that neighborhood that later leads to the intersection in question. So to me, with all the stuff that we're talking about National Grid losing that contract in 4 or 5 years. That's going to be dismal. We're talking about whether or not one of our city council people should actually be there or wait for a referendum next year when he runs again, or whether or not we should put together a GoFundMe account so he can defend himself against his own city that he represents as a council person. I wish this was never happening. I really wish this city would have at least a focus on a project like that. But I don't know if those days exist anymore. I think a lot of times, the whole visionary part, and I'm not putting anyone down. I'm not saying anything about our mayor or council. I'm saying that we have too many other distractions. We have too many homes in this town that are off the tax roll. I would dare say if you drive along, for instance, Academy Street from Washington Street all the way to the park, I would dare say right now that there's at least 100 unoccupied homes between that stretch. And that's no more than maybe 3/4 of a mile to a mile. That's sad. It really is sad. And I've been talking about this for many, many years. I don't know if we gave up. Back in 2012, Fort Trump, they brought in a tremendous amount of developers here from out west to build new housing on the base and other communities on Route 342. Most of them made out of loose leaf paper. But that took away the Fort Drum market. We don't have as many Fort Drum soldiers living here or investing in old homes because they don't want to. One, if it doesn't have a garage, they won't buy it. Two, if it's more than 5 miles away from base, they're not going to want to live there unless they're going to want to live on the water in Sackett's Harbor. That's basically one of the only rare exceptions. So I figured I'd throw that out there because I haven't really necessarily been talking about Cliff only. I'm ignorant. I've been focused, obviously, on the national election. I'm very happy right now, but this is just a simple observation. I want to get your opinion. Let's go to the phones to see if it's legit first. Looks like it is. Hi, you're on the air. Thanks for waiting.
Hey, Mayor.